This is a Fox News alert. I'm Ashley Strohmeyer live from New York. President Trump just tweeted moments ago that he and the First Lady have tested positive for the coronavirus. It follows news that top aide Hope Hicks, who traveled with the president multiple times this week, had tested positive. This includes aboard Marine One, the presidential helicopter, and on Air Force One to a rally in Minnesota Wednesday, and then aboard Air Force One to Tuesday night's first presidential debate in Cleveland. Hicks is said to be quarantining at home and is reportedly experiencing symptoms.
I had a 2-week regimen of hydroxychloroquine, and I've taken it, I think, just about 2 weeks. I think it's another day. So, and I'm still here. I'm still here. And I tested very positively in another sense. So this morning, yeah, I tested positively toward negative, right? So, no, I tested perfectly this morning.
Very dramatically, Donald Trump has said that he's tested positive for the coronavirus. This was a day many people feared, many people saw coming, many people thought may well happen because he was continuing to hold campaign rallies, even a couple of them indoors.
While the United States remains the hardest hit in this COVID-19 fight, its own President Donald Trump and First Lady Melania Trump have tested positive.
Early this morning, let's bring in White House reporter for the Associated Press, Jonathan Lemire. Jonathan, let's just start with a timeline. Let's talk about Hope Hicks, the first person that we know in this group that was infected with COVID. Talk about her contact with the president and the team on Tuesday and Wednesday.
Certainly, Joe. Hope Hicks is one of the president's closest aides. She
Stunning news. The president of the United States now confirming to the world that he and the First Lady of the United States have both tested positive for the coronavirus, and they will quarantine. The president tweeting out just moments ago here in the United States, 12:54 a.m., said tonight, Potus and I tested positive for COVID-19. We will begin our quarantine and recovery process immediately. We will get through this together. Again, the president of the United States confirming via Twitter that he is now tested positive for COVID-19, and the First Lady as well.
It is not known how, despite elaborate precautions and constant testing of White House officials, the White House press corps, and others in contact with Trump, the president contracted the virus. But earlier, one of Trump's top aides, Hope Hicks, was confirmed to have tested positive. Hicks accompanied the president to the debate in Cleveland, Ohio on Tuesday. Trump phoned into a Fox television program earlier on Thursday and talked about Hicks having been exposed.
It's a tough kind of a situation. It's a terrible thing. So I just went for a test, and we'll see what happens. I mean, who knows?
The White House physician, Sean Conley, said Trump and the First Lady are both well at this time, and that the White House medical team will maintain a vigilant watch. Melania.
Well, the U.S. president is perhaps the 8th world leader to have tested positive for the virus. He's, however, the oldest of them at 74 years old. What are the health concerns given the vulnerability of older persons?
Well, a short while ago, our North America editor John Sopel explained how President Trump could have contracted the virus.
It's simultaneously astonishing that the president, who is so well protected, where testing happens so much, could have contracted the virus, and also not in the least bit surprising given the ambivalent attitude in the White House towards wearing face masks. And you talk.
Yo, if you're like me, you probably heard the news that late last night, Donald J. Trump, President of the United States, has tested positive for COVID-19. And as a comedian, I'm not gonna lie, my first instinct was to make jokes. Jokes about how a 74-year-old man who doesn't eat vegetables and eats way too much meat is literally the kind of guy that Corona puts in its dating profile. I mean, I also wanted to make jokes about how Dr. Fauci is probably at the White House right now, you know, prescribing Trump bleach injections and bottles of "I told you so, dumbass." But then another idea came to my mind, and it was this. If the President of the United States can get the coronavirus, then what excuse do the rest of us random assholes have for not wearing a mask? This guy literally had people tested around him. He had the Secret Service bitch slap anyone who even sneezed in his direction. And yet still, because he wasn't wearing a mask, and he insisted coronavirus was fake and didn't take the necessary precautions he should have, now he's back in the bunker, being cussed at by Melania like he was a White House Christmas decoration. People, coronavirus doesn't care about your politics. It doesn't care if you believe in it or not. What it does care about is if you're wearing a mask. And no, I'm not saying that a mask makes you impervious, but I'm saying if it can help at all, then why not take the chance? Because if Corona could get Trump, the guy who beat the popular vote, the guy who beat Robert Mueller, the guy who beat 18 Republicans, the guy who beat the IRS, the guy who beat the Me Too movement, the guy who beat the English language, well, then you best believe that Corona can get you. Wear a mask.